Open water with sharks in it, he gon' swim. Ain't stopping on the groove line. For that money respect, I'm more than willing to shoot.
You are, you have been, you will be under the groove.
Hoover Rovers, young hoes, we fly shit. Stash box properly placed in the cockpit. Steady mobbing, no politics in the gossip. It's a groove man round here, nigga, watch this.
Can't stop it. I love Who Riders in the profit. Moving to the set. Tangerine Corvette. Pretty young thing. She a fly roulette. Born in the head. No Russian roulette. Two for the set. Flying on deck. 3 hoes waiting online for the dead. 4 straps in the stash. I'm down with the shit. 5 with the deuce. 6 with the dubs. Anybody kill a hella dollars in the cross. 6 city styling. Looking like a dog. Till the 16. My niggas putting on. $1 million dream at 8 figures. Give me my number table in case a nigga need a reason.
You will be under the groove. Trey 4, 7-11, the deuce and the 9. Hoover, hey people, this thing is continuing. This is another exclusive. I got with me, man, legends. First, to my right, man, y'all know what this is, but I'm gonna say, hey, this is Mizz from 90 Neighborhood Crips. This is Craybone 90 Neighborhood Crips, and this right here is JT, the bigger figure. All right. Now you guys go ahead, man, and let people know who you are. It's coming from y'all is way better than coming from me, man.
Well, you already gave the introduction. I'm Big Mizz. That's Craybone, and that's JT, the bigger figure. And JT, the bigger figure, come on here because he's he's into a lot of different things. We could see a movie out of this. Having him on this.
Make it happen.
So I believe in growth, and this right here is growth for me. So that's why I'm here.
Appreciate you being here too.
Yeah, what you say? Punching through the bullshit.
Pushing through the bullshit.
Pushing through the bullshit. Like,
yeah,
man. Sometimes you gotta grow up, mature up.
Yeah,
make life changes. That's the only way life changes. People talk about it, but they never be about it. It's almost like the fakes got in the driver's seat. When all the real with the jail shot up everything, the face got in the driver's seat and stuff is distorted. You gotta excuse me because I'm getting my mouth done. I'm getting veneers, whoever don't know. So my mouth kind of messed up, but I'm still with it. But like I was saying, man, a lot of things change when y'all went to jail, for especially the ones like us that was left on the street. It's a whole totally, man. Life is a different change, but this is the first step to changes. Who like it, whoever they don't.
This is what it's gonna do, man.
Man, my name JT, the bigger figure, representing the Bay Area, San Francisco, Fillmore District, long-time independent entrepreneur, artist, movie director, magazine, what's you call it when you own the magazine? Publisher. Okay, magazine publisher. I'm an author, man. I done wrote books. I'm an artist development person. I specialize in going to neighborhoods and creating original content. No script ever involved. I went to the 9th grade of school, so I think I did pretty good in life. 9th grade education. I operate on common sense. What make me feel like God brought me here today? I gotta say God, right?
There you go.
In 1992, Hunters Point in San Francisco is our rival neighborhood. I have nothing to do with why we rivals. When I was born, that's what it was.
Right.
You don't post it like them. So that's the first neighborhood that I can remember knowing conflict between black men, right? 1992, Rodney King riot happened. When the riot happened, and when they put on the news that Crips and Bloods came together and y'all was stealing together. We ran into them dudes and we was stealing together. But to see the Crips and Bloods, that was a big topic that was on the news. They did, they was running some reruns on that. Gangs come together and they terrorizing LA basically, right? So a meeting happened between our neighborhoods and I was 18 years old at the age of I'm riding for the hood, I'm ready to die about it, all this stuff, right? That Crips and Bloods thing hitting the news started a conversation between our big homies. And the conversation came back then. It was payphones. It wasn't no It wasn't no pager, none of that. It was a payphone that everybody know this number. If you're trying to get in touch with somebody, they called the payphone and was saying, "Put pig skins on the phone. No, put Creature Man. That's our big homie. Creature Man get on the phone. They like, yeah, hey, y'all come over here, bro. You know that shit that happened last night. You know, and it was on this day, April 28th." 1992. It was April 28th or the 29th. The riot shit was in full gear. You feel me? But we was kicking shit in up there in the Bay. And then they said, come over here, we're gonna squash this shit. But it was all because we seen Crips and Bloods. That was impossible.
Right.
That looked impossible. That why would they be together? But it was like a cause that we felt that we was part of that. So we gonna squash the beef too. And I was blessed to be part of that. Fillmore and Hunters Point, a 20-year conflict was resolved over watching what y'all did. And then all these years, last year, I was there at the park when it was like a, you know, what they call an anniversary. So to see all the people who was involved and meet them personally, I'm like, y'all don't know what y'all did for us in the Bay Area. Y'all helped save thousands of lives because I ended up doing a song with these guys called RBL Posse, Don't Give Me Alabama Weed. I did a song with them. We called it Frisco Niggas Ain't No Punks. And it was them and us. A couple of my guys, him and his guys, we did a song. Now that concreted the fucking movement through this goddamn song. And for all these years since 1992 to now, it never been no more conflict between our neighborhoods. It been only internal conflict. We ain't funking with them no more. Fucking funk with each other now. Like so to be here and witness this, like I didn't know how deep the problem between the two families, you know, starting as one, separating, and how the new generation got new direction. And to listen to the conversation of saying like, oh, this monumental, because this don't normally happen. Ain't no conversation, ain't no bridge. It's just we on our side, y'all on your side. So I'm just happy to be here.
On the same day it happened out there.
Nah, look at that.
Yeah,
that's why
crazy.
look, I'm telling you a story about we had some dudes that was shooting at us. I can't say I was shooting at them. I can't fake that I had the gangster life. But when it came to the fight, now they had no choice. Everybody got to fight. But in terms of these dudes was shooting at us when Colors came out and they say do a drive-by, they was doing it. You know what I mean? The homies was getting shot by a random car, and we just assumed it got to be them from over there. You know, so it got deadly, but it didn't get to the stream like LA deadly. But it was coming because from 1988 to 1992, when Colors hit, that shit made activity in the streets happen. Everybody felt like they got to do what we seen in this movie. So by 92, imagine that what y'all went through, it inspired us. And I'm pretty sure some other cities probably came together that wouldn't have been, but they made a mistake. They put the shit on the news, showed the Crips and Bloods tying rags together and shit. I'm like, oh, Unity. It's too hard.
Well, hopefully, and I hear what you're saying. I know you hear it
happening again right now.
It's going down right now.
You see how you know we can mix this up and you know just cause started right here, man.
Right here, right now.
Here, man. You know that's my thing. I build. I don't destroy. I build.
We are builders.
Yeah, that's right.
We're building something right now. And for all those out there watching, y'all see this shit, man. You know, ain't no sense in playing at this no more, man. I got Mizz, man. And I have to say, man, I watched your videos. And I was impressed. You know, I had to throw my wife out. So I said, your energy is right. Yeah. Your energy is the right energy, man. Bro. I really, I really appreciate that, bro. Yes, sir. We've been talking off camera, man. And, man, yo, get down with the things you got in your head to do. Yeah. Do that. You know, do that, man. Do that. Because I'm telling you, you're going to go a long way. But Mizz is here. And Craybone is here. JT is here. We want to talk about our history. We want to talk about 9-0 history. Yes, sir. All right. I know it. 9-0 history. Right, man, for this conversation. Yeah. And nephew. Right? So, growing up, man, you grew up in that area, right?
I grew up, I was born and raised on 87th in Vermont.
Okay.
Yeah. And to give you some quick little excerpts is that, I went to Manchester Elementary.
Mhm.
So we all know who went there.
Yeah.
So, guys that was reputables,
Mhm.
went to Manchester Elementary.
Mhm.
And I grew up, hearing names like Tony Stacy,
Mhm.
Bam. I think I was at
Yeah.
Tehachapi with him. Yeah, yeah, Sims and Peg Leg,
Bad. Yeah.
and all these dudes, man. I used to always hear about them, and I like, well, I never met them, but I used to always hear about them. You always hear about what these dudes out here doing. We
Mhm.
be in class in elementary, people like Tony Stacy just did this. Peg leg just did that. And I said, well, why they call him peg leg? Until I met him one day, he would take that leg off and whoop you with that leg. Yeah. I'm like, who peg leg? He would take that leg off, and he was on swole too, man.
Yeah,
But he would
that
take
was
that
swole.
leg off, and he would whoop you with that leg, man. And I'm like,
Yeah.
these dudes is
Chase
with,
you hopping.
yeah, So would he take the leg off and squabble with you to make it fair?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I know the history, and like what Crab was saying, I used to kick it on 81st in Hoover with Rock and Levi. Them was my road dogs.
Wow.
Yeah, and we used to sit there. People used to pull up. I didn't know a lot of the guys would pull up. They knew them, but I didn't know them. But Rock and Levi would always say, "Man, this is the homie right
Yeah.
here." Yeah, so and those was kind of like the ones
Yeah.
I started hearing the Hoover really, the blue rags, and they started kind of teaching me, what this blue rag really
Yeah.
meant. And I knew hanging around them that I couldn't be no punk.
Mhm.
I couldn't be no buster, So I would walk over to 81st and I would walk all the way to 87. And then also Holy Ray, Gooch, Benny, and Bub.
Mhm.
Benny used to work at the liquor store on 87th Street with my brother, and Holy Ray and Bub used to come up there, and Gooch used to come up there, and
You
they
talking
used
about
to.
Bug.
Yeah,
It was
Bug. Yeah, I'm
it
sorry.
was
Yeah, Bug. They
Yeah.
used to come up there, and they used to always be up there like messing around and stuff. So I kind of met them, and I was hearing Hoover coming out their mouth.
Mm.
So I'm like, man, I kind of like Hoovers. But now remember, I live on 87th in Vermont.
Right.
So it used to be a lot of A-Trays coming over there.
Right.
Johnny King, Big Spike, Dumps, Fred J,
Mhm.
Gangster Grin, Frog. They used to be coming over there too, because
Yeah.
there was a lot of little females lived
Yeah.
over there, and they be
Yeah.
coming back and forth. So I kind of had a, what choice was I gonna make?
Mhm.
And I didn't gel good with the A-Trays. And I'll leave it. I ain't got to go
Mhm.
into the scenarios,
Okay,
but I
right.
didn't gel good with them.
Yeah.
And I liked how, Holy Ray and them Get Down was.
Yeah.
They appeared to be more of a big homie to me.
Mm.
So I gravitated to them. So before I was even claiming 9-0, before I was even claiming anything, I had a blue rag in my left pocket.
You wasn't even banging yet.
I wasn't even banging, but I knew the blue rag is where I was going to go,
Yeah.
because these was the individuals that I
Yeah.
looked up to.
Right.
These
That
were
was
the
your influence.
individuals that
Mhm.
that I respected, and they just, I just saw something genuine with them guys. So during the process of this, we was cats on 87th Street. We was 87th Street hustlers, and actually we had a crew over there. We was kind
Y'all
of
was
deep.
hustlers.
Yeah, we was
I
kind of
understand
like
that story.
30 deep.
Yeah.
So that's what Space Ghost, Lump, Spider-Man, SWAT, BoJack. A lot of cats came from off that block.
Yeah.
So Speechless and Phone started getting into it. And one day we decided we was gonna go over there. We went over there off of 90th and Orchard. We went over there, and we saw them over there. Wasn't number like 5 of them. We go over there. We thick.
Yeah.
Like, man, what's up, man? They're like, man, and I went to elementary with all of them. Lil Mar, Phone. He's
And they
big.
all went to Manchester too.
Yeah, they all went to
Yeah.
Manchester. Yeah. 4-5 was in jail at the time, and Jay Bird wasn't there on that particular day.
Okay.
It was 5 originals that started in 9-0. I came in right up under that, right up under that right there. And so when I came, I brought like you know, a gang.
Again with you.
You know, and so
The hustlers.
the 87th Street Hustlers.
Street,
So we
okay.
didn't just come right off being like 9-0s, you
Okay.
know. It was a transition went
Okay.
through that. But because you know, Dopey was you know,
9 Deuce Dopey.
yeah, 9 Deuce Dopey had they back.
Yeah.
You know, you had Crazy Crip had they back. You had Monk had they back. All these dudes had they back, and these dudes is OGs,
Yeah.
man. These dudes is, you know, these dudes like 5-6 years older than me.
Mm.
You know, you know, them dudes had they back, and I saw kind of like, you know, well, I remember Hola Ray Hoover, that name. I know Hola Ray Hoover and Bug Hoover, and you know. So I'm like, all right, that's what's up. You know, I like this Hoover thing. So I convinced everybody we gonna all go 9-0 Hoover.
You did that.
That's without a doubt. Well, you heard what Rav said. You heard what
yeah,
Rav said.
yeah,
I did that. I convinced everybody, you know, that we're gonna be 9-0 or nothing, you know. And you know, there's a lot of beefs jumped up, you know, in LA, you know, with this, you know, that. The first gunplay beef I knew about was with the 111s, and I think it was the 111s and the 107s.
Yeah.
That's I heard about Dwayne Daniels getting killed. Donald Bodine brother.
Yeah.
That was the really first gunplay I heard. But as far as, you know, people saying, well, you know, this person beefed this first 87th Street was the first street to beef with the H-Rays because we didn't want to be from H-Ray.
H-Ray Gangster.
H-Ray Gangster, yeah.
Big
And I
frog
could
in
tell
there.
you stories
Yeah,
about that.
big
But right
frog in
now
there,
we're
yeah.
focusing on the origins of this right here. So
how you got started.
yeah, so when I went over there, you know, I saw the guys that I went to school with, and I was like, you know what, man, that's what's up, you know. So we end up, you know, gravitating into Hoover. You know, we didn't gravitate into Hoover because of we didn't gravitate into 9-0 because of 9-0. We gravitated into 9-0 because of Hoover. And I went to elementary school. We wanted to be from Hoover, and it's just 9-0 was the one we gravitated into because 9-0 was my best friend.
Okay, gotcha.
Was my best friend. But at that time, you had, you know, Eminem. He tell you he probably one of the only ones still alive. Antonio, Antonio, his brother Norwood, Manuel. I think they call Manuel crazy. Nehru was wino. You know, I mean, man, check this out, man. We was road dogs, man. We was road dogs, Dirty Red. You know, we all kicked it. We all ran together. And although we had skirmishes as kids, we was best friends. You know, and
there was that thing where you all grew up together.
Yeah, we all grew up together. We all went to Manchester Elementary together. And you know, Rab, he told you he's accurate on that. What happened at Bret Hart? I was there, so no need to even go back. You know, go into that. You know, kind of be redundant, kind of going over each other. So he went into that part of it, and I always what really made me like kind of made me feel bad because I've always been loyal and I've always been, if you my friend, you my friend. I was asking, well, where was Tony Stacy at? What was these guys at to stop this stuff? You know, I didn't know they was in the penitentiary. I didn't know they was gone. I think TS was in YA at the time. You know, I didn't know they was in penitentiary. They was gone. These dudes that I looked up to. But I'm gonna tell you something. And I said I was gonna say this, you know, and he said, you know, I first met TS. We all know the story about Elvis, right? Up in Manchester Park. That's how I met him.
That's how you met him.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
That's how I met him. And I want to be just like this dude, man. I want to be just like this dude. You know, if you looked at my first interview, I gave it up and I said the truth. Hoover's was a trendsetter. You know, Hoover's was you know, it grew like fire. You know, and 9-0 grew like fire. 9-0 grew like fire. And you know, I hope you can get Joe Jaws on here because you know a lot the 9-9s came from 9-0.
Oh yeah,
you know,
matter of fact, I talked to a few the other night.
The only one from 9-9 that go back in my era that wasn't from 9-0 was Bitter Child. All the rest of them was 9-0.
That was my son.
Is he still living?
No, Bitter Child passed away, man.
See, I didn't. It's so many people that passed away, man. There's so many people that passed away. But see,
that was a good dude.
He was.
Bitter Child
He
was a good
was.
dude,
He
man.
was.
Love the
He
hell out of
was.
Bitter
He
Child.
was, man. And
Mm.
I remember, you know, and you said something like, and that's what I like about you. Keep it real.
Mhm.
Well, if these dudes is busters, why they still over here?
Yeah.
Man, we stayed over there a long time,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
We stayed over
Yeah.
there a long
Right.
time.
And-
But
and it wasn't that y'all were busters. Y'all
nah,
wasn't busters.
nah,
you see?
man.
And so when I talked to the homies about this, you could see like, come on, man, got your feelings. Them dudes,
No,
y'all
man.
understand
Yeah,
them dudes.
yeah,
Them
man.
dudes was us. They
Man.
came up same area we came up in. What did y'all expect?
Hoover taught me how to crip,
man.
bro.
Come
I
on.
just gotta keep, man.
Come on,
I'd
man.
be lying if I say
Come
anything
on.
different, you know. And everybody know I had it on my body and
Yeah.
all that, bro. I represented
Yeah.
this, man. You know,
Yeah.
the only thing I was taught to fight was Denver Lanes. When I first came in this game, I was taught to fight
Come
Denver
on, man.
Lanes.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, and
Brims
that's
and
what,
Swamp.
and yeah, and we got
I
down
hate to
with
say
them.
that, but that's what it was.
Yeah, and we got down with them.
Yeah.
We got down. I can tell you stories about we went
Yeah.
over there up in the pool hall they had over there,
Mhm.
and we was on one, man. You know, so I have a vivid memory on the influence that Hoover had on me, and that's why I never came out, you know, and been disrespectful toward that because I would really be disrespecting myself,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, your
And
history.
how you gonna that's like Russia trying to eliminate Ukraine. How you when they really you?
Them your people.
Them really your people.
people.
And then they wonder why they fight so hard.
Why they not giving up or folding? Yeah.
Why they not
Right.
giving up?
Right.
Same people.
Right.
You know, it's the same people.
Same language.
We cut from the
Exactly.
same cloth. I wouldn't have been a Crip. You know, a lot of people don't know. My sisters, they one of the ones that helped Terry Godot start the Brims, the Six Dudes Brims. A lot of people, my sister Kathy Cofield, I'm Mark Cofield. You know, a lot of people don't know that. People gonna be like, yeah, that's right. My sister's Kathy Cofield, Margaret Cofield.
Did you know that,
understand?
Tia? Did you know that? That his sister helped start.
Yeah,
Wow.
Terry Godot used to come over. Terry Godot used to come over. Terry Godot had a bomb, and he used to come over to my mama's house, man. And he had a little brim dudes behind him, and I would see the red rags, and I'm like, that's different from the color I know.
Right.
You know, I didn't really know what time it was or what was up, but I'm like, man, that's different from the color I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, see, I don't know how that I knew I heard LA Brim. It was this, it was that, you
Right.
know. But I
Right.
know when they came over there, you know, he ran out of gas and he had the Brim dudes push his car all the way back over there. That's how much, you know, Juicy was, man. Juicy head, man. But you know, I don't want to get off the topic though.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
know.
look. I'm gonna tell you, like I said, your energy is great, and I want you to do your thing, man. I'm gonna have some questions, and you know, I'm gonna jump.
Ask some questions because you know, man, I get to go, man. I'll go on one.
Thing, though, man.
Yeah, I'll go
Hey,
on one,
shit.
man.
And
Hey,
I'm
man,
all
you
right
know,
with that.
hey, you know, I'll go on one because I'm gonna keep it 100. And first off, man, let me give a shout out to you. A lot of people say they shout outs for the end. I like to get mine out the way while they on mine. I want to shake your hand on this right here and give a straight shout out to you. I want to give a shout out to TS. You know, I got at him about me coming on here. I got at Sam Ransom about me coming on here. You say you talked to Eminem. You know, there's a few people, you know, and I talked to my homeboy Big Disco, my homeboy Jay Bird, you know, and that's why I'm on here. And you know, and you're gonna have them dudes, you know, throwing them stones and stuff like that, but they throw them anyway.
That's gonna happen.
They throwing them anyway.
That's gonna happen.
So with that being aside, I don't give a give a root
know
to.
you're right though.
Yeah,
I know you're right.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that, man.
Yeah, but ask some questions,
This
man,
gonna- this
because
gonna be the
I'll
thing.
take us
So,
to China.
man, man, that might be a worthwhile trip.
Yeah.
Let's go. But look, you know, you came up into this, man, and you're known cat, you know, and not just with 9-0. Hoovers know you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The gangsters know you.
Yo, yeah, I grew up with them too.
Everybody know you, man. So you had this energy, man. You had this thing about you for a long time. This ain't nothing new. You know what I mean? Your get down, man, your persona, that energy, man. Speak to that in terms of your relationship with, let's say, start with your own homeboys first. How you guys close knit? How's that relationship?
man, I ain't gonna lie. You know, you got generations,
Mhm.
you know, and within the generation, things kind of got, you know,
Yeah.
got
Soft kilter.
it got
Yeah.
it got ruined.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
It got ruined,
Yeah.
you know. And see, one thing, you know, I liked, you know, like let me speak on Stacy's era, the
Mhm.
era that I
That you- yeah.
emulated, you know.
Mhm.
One
Mhm.
thing I knew about them, like Stacy had pull in the day. Stacy had pull with Crips, not just with
Mhm.
Hoover.
That's right.
Stacy had pull with all Crips. But one thing I knew about him, he didn't step on the scene like I'm telling y'all what to do and this and that. He stepped on the scene like I'm finna put my life on the line for all for this because I believed in this. It wasn't about Stacy, it was about the movement, you know, and that's how I came into this. It was about the movement. That's how I laced my nephew. You know, that's how he came into this. It was about the movement. What I see now, and I'm gonna cut it flat. You know, you got one or two individuals think they God, bro. Think they God.
That's right.
You know, and I don't know what's going on in other communities, but I can say for a fact I know what's going on in a community that I put my life on the line for. I gave up 28 years. You know, they don't know. I was talking to somebody the other day. I heard TS speak on this, on the CCO thing. When I went up in the penitentiary, the CCO thing was kind of dwindling away because they opposed it, you know, but it you still had pockets of it,
right?
You know, and they were still trying to slide the paperwork and do this and do that, you know. And I was hearing about them, you know, wanting them to hit their own homies and do stuff like that. And I was like, oh no, man,
that's the weirdest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, you ain't gonna never
worse than the shit we going through. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the hell?
And when I got the Soledad, they were still kind of deep up there. Yeah. And I was like, you know what, though, man, I ain't going. And I remember Dopey came and got my ear and he saw me talking to a few of them dudes. He said, man, get away from the dudes, man. Them dudes is poison, man. He said, you the little homie. Get away from them dudes. Them dudes is poison. You know?
Swollen told me the same shit, and he was a CCO. Swollen told me, nah.
Yeah,
nah.
No. He say them dude, man. I heard when I went to the penitentiary, I heard TS, Escari, Suma. You know, I used to run with Reese Cup. I think he was Bawana. I used to run with Reese Cup on the streets. Hakika, Popeye from Harlem. Look, check it out. I was kicking it with them on the streets, and they was telling me about it. They said, when you go up in there, don't fall up under that. Because they knew I was going to prison because I was just too turned up, man. So they knew it was, but they say, you know, don't fall up under that right there. So, you know, I avoided that, you know. And I'm not gonna lie, had the CCO had a stayed within a structure and kept it real.
It ain't no telling, right?
Man, look. Man, come on, man, because everybody need a structure. And you know, that's why I like that show.
That's
called,
what's lacking now.
Yeah, that's why I like that show called Law and Order.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, you break the law, here come the order. I feel like that should be the same thing in our community.
We need structure.
Yeah, yes, sir. We need structure.
I want you to take us back. I want to ask you a question.
Let's go way back.
Yeah, I want to go way back.
Let's go way back.
When did you first come off the porch, and what brought you off the porch?
What
can you remember what brought you off the front porch?
Well, when you say brought me off the porch, be a little bit more.
Okay, was it gang banging that brought you off the front porch? Was it girls? Was it your hustle?
Nah, it was
you know
it was my friends. See, this was about my friends, and this was about people that I looked up to.
Okay.
This was people that I respected, and I knew them dudes. I'm gonna tell you something.
And these are the same guys you grew up with.
Well, these are the same guys I grew up with, and these are the same guys that I heard about. Okay. I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I can honestly say this, and you know, and anybody know me, you know, I don't stroke, I don't do that. I'm gonna tell you straight up. One thing I say about TS, man, he didn't even have to know you. He didn't even have to know you. But I'll give you example. I'll give you an example. You know, when I went into the penitentiary, you know, things started, structure broke down, and things started getting watered down. Well, he ain't from my hood.
Right.
When we were getting to them racial incidents and things of that nature, well, he ain't from my hood thing. I could actually say this dude right here, I know for a fact he wouldn't give a damn where you was from. He was gonna back you up as a black man. And see, that's what I fell out with my own car. And we can go into things like that. I fell out with my own car, you know, and that's why Rock from H.A. Hoover, we was at Tehachapi, we rolled with a blood, and Gats was mad at us, but we wasn't finna let them Southsiders take him down like that. We wasn't finna let
right.
you know. We wasn't finna, Rock didn't want to get into it, but Rock seen me in it, and he came and got in it. You know, and a lot of people wanted to you know, the Hoovers was deep on the yard, so they weren't gonna say nothing to Rock, but because I was like one of the only 9-0s on the yard, people trying to pick, oh man, you know, the Serrano's telling him, well, you get him off the yard, everything could be cool. And it was Rock and them stepped up for me. They said, that nigga ain't going nowhere. And then you wonder why I never lost that connection. I never lost that connection because it's in us, man. It's in us to support each other. It's in us to do the right thing.
Right.
And sometimes, man, we get clouded. We get clouded by the fast cars.
That's right.
You know, the money,
trappings.
the trapping and all that. We get clouded by that, and we got to bring it back home. And I came on here, Bub, and this is real talk, man. I asked him to come on here because I know what he can do with this. You know, I asked my nephew to come on here because he know a part of the history. Remember, I was gone 28 years. That's when he picked it up. He could tell you a lot of things that I can't tell you. Just like, you know, Fab fell in, like, what do you say, 82?
Yeah.
I fell in 86. So I had a four more year run than what he did. You know, in that 4 year, a lot of things had changed. So
True.
So my purpose and reason for coming on here, we could talk about this, you know, because this is a history. We are Hoover history, you know, and I appreciate you acknowledging that, because we are, you know, it ain't sweeping this up under the rug. Well, you can't sweep it up under the rug, but a lot of dudes like out of town, you know, because you got all these different, you know, it's 9-0s in other states. No, they're like, y'all was Hoover. What?
You got Hoovers out of town, they know it.
But they gonna look at this and they gonna say, what? You had big Mizz on there?
Okay.
Shaking
now
your
the
hand.
thought process is gonna change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna change. It's gonna change. And this is what I'm saying. Like I told you before the camera was rolling, Crabs say, you know, as far as when you talk about the little gang thing and all that, you know, don't do it. No, I'm not gonna tell a person not to belong to something because I'll be a hypocrite. But I'm gonna say it's what you do, what you belong into. Because these white folks ain't giving up their sororities, they ain't giving up their LAPD, they ain't giving up their sheriffs. They ain't giving up none of that. They ain't giving up their Jewish alliance. They ain't giving up their Palestinian supply. Why should we give up ours? No. Why should we give up ours? Man, we done died for this, man. We done put our lives on the line for this, man. We done gave up all man, look, man, a lot of us in our 60s, man. TS told me he just turned 66.
The other day.
Yesterday.
Come on now.
Yeah. You know, so you know, so why should we give this up? Why shouldn't this go down from generation to generation? Right. It's what we do. We got to clean this up somewhere down the line, Bub. We got to figure it out, man.
We on that. We already on that road.
And this is an instrument.
I told my wife this about a month ago. I said I had an idea for a short, and it had to do with some young homies going to the liquor store, and you know, coming out the liquor store, we went and got their drink or whatnot, and they coming out and said, man, my mama used to go to this store back in the day. You know, they having this conversation about history, and then another one say, hey man, damn, how we don't own this store? You know, that type of shit. I thought about it. I said, man, we could make a short just on that. Just on that. And it's speaking to, okay, ownership. You know, it's speaking to history, it's speaking to a lot of shit, you know what I mean? But it's a short, you know, it's just an idea I had. I said, man, I'm gonna figure out, you know, our son go to film school now, so we hoping, though.
Oh, that's
get,
what's
you know,
up.
hey man,
that's what's up.
That's
what's
you know.
up.
But
I wanted
ideas like that, you know.
I wanted to hit on something. Rav said he went to jail on, and he was talking about the transition over to Hoover, you know, to West Coast, to neighborhood. I'm gonna hit on that right quick. The reason why we stayed Hoover from like probably 76
from 76,
from 76 all the way to like 1983. And what happened was I came into 9-0 around, I think 9-0 started around 76. Okay. I came into 9-0 77.
Okay.
And what, you know, it was skirmishes, you know, little fights and stuff going here and there. And, you know, it wasn't the only two real casualties that came from that was Ani and Phone. There really wasn't no casualties, you know, in between that. It was just basically, it went from a turn up, then it kind of died down. You know, like you was talking about the sweeps. A lot of people was going to jail, this, and this, that. And I think after Moo, I was hurt when Moo died, man. You know, when Moo got killed, a lot of things kind of really started kind of like, you know, it was just like some regular things. And then I think when Too Sweet got killed, he went up to Manchester Park, you know, he didn't take my advice, you know. Them dudes just getting fresh out the penitentiary and stuff, you know. And they was down, man. They was down, and they kind of like was still on the squabble method. When other people, man, you know, people evolving. You know, they evolving in the other mind frame. So Too Sweet went up there, and he unfortunately, you know, came to his demise. He lost his life, man, and I was hurt, you know. And at this particular time, I had major pull in the 9-0, major, you know, and I knew that the 9-0s on the other side were going through the same experiences we were going through. See, they used to try to like, nah, we ain't them, and we ain't them. But when they went in jail, the Hoovers wasn't hearing that. You from 9-0, you gonna get it. You getting it too, you know. And so I was hearing stories in, you know, cats, you know, going through it in the county jail. So I met, actually I met Big Red, you know, he rest in peace now. I met Big Red, and, you know, I had a big old bag at that time. So he was working at Kenny's shoe stores, and I said, man, you know what? I like your style. I like your get out, you know. And so I grafted him in, you know, and he started saying, well, you know, we got homies over here. So because I had a bag, I was able to get everybody to sit down at the table. And that's when we came to the agreement that we were going to be West Coast. Everybody wasn't on the page, but the bulk.
But y'all had already stopped being Hoovers.
No.
Okay.
We were still Hoovers. They were still gangsters.
Okay.
And we said, okay, a lot of them didn't want to stop claiming gangster. A lot of, man, you know how many homeboys we lost because we stopped claiming Hoover? We lost almost half our hood. They're like, man, if I ain't Hoover, I ain't nothing. No, I ain't gonna put their names out there, but some reputables from 7-4 and all that was 9-0s. And because we started claiming something different, they like, nah, I ain't walking away from Hoover. Man, I didn't want to walk away from Hoover, man, but I was hurt. You know, I was hurt. Hoover was what inspired me. Hoover was what made me get into this lane in the first place. I heard somebody say, man, I remember, man, I can't remember who it was, but they was riding on a bike, and you know how people used to ride, you know, in they with no handlebars, with no hand, and they was doing all this, all that. Now I heard TS say he never heard him say it, but I heard him say it. I heard him say, do like this, Hoover group of blood, remove and he was doing like that. I heard that. I heard that. He was going up Vermont. It used to be Bamboo Gardens. He was passing Bamboo. He was passing Bamboo Gardens, and I said, man, Hoover, huh?
Trey folks, 7-11, the Deuce and the 9. You have been, you will be under the
But we ain't game banging. This is about education. We trying to educate our youth right now, nigga. Hey. Said day is the best day. Skip walking across the floor in the best way. From Trey to the one way. It's a stump day. LA to the NY. Let this funk, you know, back in them days, it was love, loyalty, respect, and honesty. That's my nigga Gumby right there from the juice. Ex-busters, hooks, and snitches put on pedestals and ventilators. Say lows on that Hoover shit. HIP, Tiny Moo, one of the hardest poets I ever heard, connected with this star shit. Hey, baby Jap and Jap 5, quick to set it off on the mic in the shack live. When the shit get real and feel to the wheel, and then you will see sitting up in that motherfucker, looking at that light center, that death center. Then they run into witness stand, telling on their own homeboys.
Hoover stomp all night like this. Hoover stomp.
I know trouble. I know how to start them BS motherfuckers looking for me.
I'm a New York nigga in the Pacific Sun. I say West Side Hoover if you ask where I'm from. Providence, California runs, still infusing my lungs. All about my bread. I ain't leaving.
Understand the end game. What's your end game? What's your purpose?
Keep one in the head or I don't need a gun. I'm with Hawk on Hoover Street with a low ass jump. Hopping down Figueroa with a wholesale and gun. Grooving like this, come second to none. Grooving like Scully Young, grooving like Booker Brown. I'm bad to the bone.